Leah is coming to us from Homage Senior Services in Snohomish County and is going to talk about home-delivered meals, I believe, or something.
Yes.
Yay.
Do we not have slides? Oh, perfect.
There you go. Just
Wonderful.
either one of those.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Buenas tardes. My name is Mayra Peña, and I am the Meals on Wheels manager with Homage Senior Services.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Leah Hammon. I'm the nutrition director for Homage as well, and I hope everybody's surviving their food coma. We are very happy to be here to represent Homage, but more importantly, Meals on Wheels programs at large.
So for those of you who may not be familiar with Homage Senior Services, we are an agency in Snohomish County, and we primarily serve seniors in Snohomish County. Some of our core programs include health and wellness, minor home repair, nutrition services, which is where Leah and I, the department that we work for Meals on Wheels and the community table dining program. We also have social services for our Aging and Disability Resource Network, and we also provide transportation services to seniors.
So I think we all know why we're here today, because nutrition is so critical for all life stages, but almost even more importantly for older adults who are faced with physiological, cognitive, and social changes that can significantly impact their nutrition, their ability to absorb nutrients, their thirst and hunger sensation. That's very common for older adults to have decreased thirst and hunger sensation, also impaired nutrient absorption. And especially when we're talking about homebound clients who are isolated and lonely, that can really impact their desire to eat, not having that social connection. A lot of us were engaging today around food and nutrition, and our homebound older adults don't necessarily have access to those connections that help encourage eating and community and engagement. So you can see nutrition is adequate nutrition, not just nutrition, is important to, of course, support physical health, strength, and immunity, help manage chronic conditions, protect cognitive function. That's really critical for especially fall prevention, maintaining independence and daily function, and overall just having a great quality of life and healthy aging.
So when we talk about Meals on Wheels, I think something really important to highlight is that it's not just food. Meals on Wheels is also stability, dignity, and quality of life. We help by reducing hunger and food insecurity of vulnerable adults in Snohomish County. And even though this is a supplemental program, for a lot of these seniors, this is the only food that they have to rely on for the whole entire week. So apart from that, we also help promote health and well-being. We help improve diet quality, and we have nutrition assessors on our team that really support and help with that. We also help increase socialization and community engagement by sharing community resources. For some of our seniors, our drivers are the only source of communication and the only people that they're seeing once a week. So we also help increase that community engagement. And more than anything, the main importance of the Meals on Wheels program is to improve the ability to live independently and remain living at home.
I wanted to talk a little bit about our service model. It's important to note that among Meals on Wheels providers, the service model can look different from provider to provider, depending on where they are. We do have Whatcom Council on Aging in the house as well, and they operate a Meals on Wheels program, and they do it a little bit differently than we do, but we all have the same goals in mind. We all face the same barriers as well. So for Homage, our Meals on Wheels program, we deliver one time a week based on the client's geographic location in the county. We currently have 36 routes. We provide frozen meals. Some other programs actually provide hot meals or a combination of frozen and hot. We find that the frozen meal model works best for us because we have so many rural areas of the county. It takes us a long time to reach some of our folks out in Darrington, out in Sultan, all over the county. And the other benefit of we also have very high volume routes, upwards of 50 clients on some routes. So we have a large delivery window from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And we do use refrigerated vehicles to keep our meals safe. But you could see how if we were providing hot meals, it would be very difficult to transport them in that time frame and keep them safe for our clients. The other benefit of frozen meals that we found for our clients is they can eat the meal, they can heat it and eat it whenever they want to. So if we're dropping off a meal at 9:30 in the morning, somebody might not necessarily want to have macaroni and cheese or whatever entree they choose of the ones that they've ordered at that time. So it gives clients some autonomy that way, some flexibility. The cons, I mentioned that we deliver only one time a week. That can be problematic because it is limiting. If we're coming to your area on a Tuesday and you have a dialysis appointment on Tuesday, well, now we have a delivery challenge. We certainly try to work with folks as much as possible based on their schedules, but there are some limitations, unfortunately. And then also our menu is a little bit static with the frozen entrees, so it can get repetitive for our clients. That's something that we're exploring here in 2026 to hopefully introduce some new meals for our clients, some more culturally relevant meals, as well as medically tailored meals. Our particular program provides some additional items in addition to the meals. We do provide fresh produce each week. Bread and shelf-stable milk are provided, and also any commodity foods that we receive that the client wants based on availability. We do offer pet food. Clients can opt in to receive cat or dog food. We found in the past that clients would feed their pets before feeding themselves, so this helps to kind of mitigate that issue. We offer incontinence supplies, and then one of the really neat things is we really try to tailor our services to treat the individual as a whole person. We partner with the Mukilteo Lighthouse Quilters Association. They provide beautiful handmade quilts to us, which we distribute every fall and winter, and they provide veterans quilts as well. And we'll have a picture of a client receiving that coming up later on. Our drivers send out birthday cards as well, and then around the holidays, anything seasonal that we can provide, we do that. We do have, Myra mentioned, we have several registered dietitians / nutrition assessors on staff that can customize menus for clients based on their medical dietary needs. Oh, I should mention just a quick picture there of our year in review of 2025. We served about 1,300 clients, about 238,000 meals. That was a bit of a down year for us. We relocated our facility in the summer. And so you can kind of see with the graph there, July, August, September, that those numbers dropped because we weren't able to enroll new clients at that time. I'm really happy to say that the Edmonds Food Bank partnered with us during our transition. We didn't have any freezer or cold storage, and they allowed us to use their freezer facility so that we could continue to operate our programs, and there was no disruption in services. We just weren't able to enroll new clients during that time. I think that really highlights just the importance of why we're all here today, collaborating to meet the community needs. Real quickly, I was asked to talk about where we receive our funding. Our program primarily receives a majority of our funding through our federal contracts funded through the Older Americans Act. About 70% of our funding comes through the Older Americans Act. Unfortunately, as we all know, particularly related to nutrition services, any federal funding really just isn't keeping pace with demand. We found that's true for us as well, so we continue to try to diversify that funding. Other sources, we do receive funding through DSHS through the COPES Medicaid waiver and the Senior Citizen Services Act. We did get a grant from WSTA, which is both state and federal, but that's not a guarantee, year after year. It's a one-time deal last year. We hope to get that renewed, but we'll have to reapply. Grants and foundations make up a portion of our funding. Contributions from both our clients, who are allowed to donate if they choose, but we do not require that. No one will ever be denied service based on an inability to donate. And then, of course, private donors, very small percentage of corporate sponsorships, and we do currently have one healthcare partnership. I did want to point out here that only 1% of philanthropic efforts support senior services. So that's definitely why we advocate for our clients, and a trend that we're hoping to improve.
So when it comes to eligibility for Meals on Wheels, clients will have to be 60 or older and primarily homebound. And what that means is basically that they are unable to leave the home unassisted, or leaving home is considered a very taxing effort. They are unable to prepare meals independently, and they lack personal support or sometimes have no support at home. There is no income criteria for this program, so regardless of the income for these seniors, as long as they meet the other eligibility, then they are able to apply. And we are a donation-based program, so what that means is even though there is no cost to join the program, seniors or anyone is able to donate, and that helps us pay for these meals.
Yeah, and I do want to mention, while there is no income criteria, the vast majority of our clientele, as you can imagine, are extremely low to low income. And this is a picture of an actual client of ours and one of our drivers. Quickly go through the application process, pretty standard. The application can be completed online through our website at homage.org. We probably receive 90 to 95% of our applications that way. Paper applications are available. We also offer phone assistance for folks who want to complete applications over the phone through our Aging Disability Resource Network, social service providers. Following the application, and oftentimes, I'll just mention quickly, we have family members, neighbors, case managers, providers that apply for our clients, so we do receive a lot of applications that way. For Homage, we do an eligibility pre-screen following the completion of the initial application, and that's just to make sure that the information that we have is correct and that the individual understands the criteria for program eligibility, particularly if the application was completed by a third party. Assuming eligibility is confirmed through our pre-screen, we will start an initial delivery, and then after a few weeks of deliveries, assuming that it's a good fit for the client and they want to continue services with us, we will schedule an initial assessment with that registered dietitian nutrition assessor, who are, again, confirming the eligibility. They're completing a nutrition risk assessment. They're also evaluating what other supports and means of support that client has to see if there's any additional wraparound services that we could refer out. And then continued enrollment for this program is contingent on an annual eligibility renewal and assessment.
As far as barriers to services, I think we can all relate to a lot of these barriers in all of the programs. And one of them is limited awareness, which is something that we also can't work on if we don't have enough capacity and funding. So for right now, I would say, it is something that we are going to be working on, doing more outreach and advocating as well. Sometimes there can be communication challenges, especially difficulty setting up services. A lot of seniors don't have access to the internet or a computer. or have support to fill out those applications. So that can sometimes be a barrier for them to apply, as well as language, although we do have language line solutions for interpreter services as well. For some seniors, there can be, some pride or preserve independence, or, sometimes these are people who have never received any type of service their entire life, and now they're at this age, and that this is the first time that they are seeking services. So, we try to encourage folks to apply regardless of, their whatever they've lived through. And with funding and capacity also does come waitlist for our program, and that is depending on, again, do we have enough funding to continue serving meals, but also do we have the capacity with our drivers to come out to these clients. As Leah mentioned earlier, our largest client routes can have up to 50 people a day, and that's just for one route. And we have 36 routes all across Snohomish County. So you can imagine, how much need there is already. Right now, I would say per day, we're looking at like 200 clients per day. And this is a Tuesday through Friday delivery. So by the time that Friday comes, my team is exhausted, I am exhausted, but we do it with a lot of love, a lot of care for our seniors. And the main thing is that they get fed and that they get their meals that they've been waiting for all week.
I kind of mentioned this earlier. Again, sometimes it's just a needs fit. If we're not able to address their complex medical dietary needs, and we often are with our registered dietitians working with the clients, but that can be a barrier. Obviously, we don't have a lot of diverse meal options, so culturally it's not always a great fit for individuals. Again, that's something we're working on in 2026. Mentioned the delivery limitations. And then finally, because we provide frozen meals, if an individual doesn't have freezer storage space, we can't safely bring those meals out to them. Last slide here, and again, we've really touched on this a lot already, but we really pride ourselves, and I know our other partners in Meals on Wheels services do as well, to provide compassionate, tailored support. Certainly, there's a lot of other fee-for-service, delivery services, meal subscription services out there, but they are dropping the meals off at the porch. We've had clients try to utilize them, and they find the meals, 2 days later, and at that point, they're no good. So it's our drivers really try to connect with the individual if they need assistance, bringing the meals up the stairs, putting them away in the freezer. We do that for them. They're also what we call our eyes and ears in the community. They're looking at that client for visual cues of any change in health status that maybe needs to be addressed. And if they see something concerning in the home or with the client, or if the client's reporting something concerning, they will in turn provide that feedback to us at the office, and we can follow up to provide any additional support that client may need. We already mentioned the tailored nutritional support provided through our registered dietitians. We're fortunate to have several on staff. That's not true for every Meals on Wheels program, but it is something that we've really tried to sustain throughout the years. And then again, Myra alluded to this, but just engaging that client with the community at large is really important. And that's why it's so important for providers like all of ours to collaborate and network. And that's a picture of our friend Renee there in the bottom corner. You can see him clutching one of those quilts I told you about. So just really special, really impactful services, and that's it for our presentation. Thanks for listening.